All right, we are back in the 2003 Chevy Suburban, and today we have a small problem that is a major inconvenience. And what it is the window won't go all the way up. So I think it's the window regulator. I bought a new one, so we're gonna swap that out, and hopefully that takes care of the problem. So stay tuned, and let's see if we can get this thing fixed. So we want to start by taking this off. A couple pieces of plastic we can just pop, and that'll expose the bolts that we need to undo. There's another bolt hiding under here. So there's a bolt under the lock and under this handle. We'll see if it can lift up now. Yep. After you do that, you can unplug the switch, which is for the window. And we can just put this aside. All right, well, what we need to do is take off this barrier. I think it's just a water barrier. And I've seen some people take the actual handle off, and I've seen people do it without. So we'll try and do it without taking this water barrier and the door handle completely off. It just might make it a little bit easier. All right, that may look messy, but I think it's gonna work. So I think what we need to do next is there's some bolts holding the actual window into the regulator. I think I have pretty good access, so I can loosen those up, and that'll separate the window from the actual regulator. And another good tip I've seen is you can put a piece of tape from your window to the frame to hold it in place. The most important thing about this tip is put it on the outside of your window so it doesn't mess up your tint. So I'll do that right now. Guessing this is all going to be 10 mil. Yeah. So to hold the regulator on, there's 3 bolts on each side. And then, like I said, we need to undo these bolts to loosen the actual window from the regulator. I don't know if... Unfortunately, I might have to get a wrench up there because I don't think I can do it. This one I can, but not the other one. And I also need to remember that these tabs are part of the regulator too, so I need to make sure those are in place when I reinstall it. Okay, so I disconnected it completely from the window regulator. Now let's take out these 6 bolts and honestly, let's just see what happens because I'm not sure what happens next. So on this side, there's a bolt here. This is the bolt I need to take off. And then there's just one more bolt down here. I can undo that, but also I need to make sure I remember, and I might as well do it now, just take off this clip. So I have 1, 2, 3. So I've disconnected the 6 bolts, 3 on each side for the window regulator, and I've also completely taken out the bolts which I think the glass hole sits into. So now you kind of need to maneuver the regulator through this gap here, and it's hooked on these ears. So I'm going to try and just get it off the hook. Hopefully it'll release itself from the window, and then I'll try and fish it out through this hole here. Okay. There's one. There's two. Here's the old one. Hopefully the new one works. Actually, before you put the new one on, like this window piece actually stuck on the door or on the window. So this piece right here that I'm pointing to stayed on the window regulator. However, if I flip this over, you can see it stayed on the window on this side. So I need to see if the new piece has that, if I can reuse it. We'll just see. I don't know how troublesome it is to reuse the piece, or if I should just try and take it off and put the new one on. So I'm gonna try and take it off. If it's too hard, then I'll just try and reuse it. All right, I'm gonna try and put the new one in, and then we'll try and get it lined up. So let's see if I can get it in first. Kind of move it to the side that you want it to be on. What I'm going to do again is I want to close this window so I have maximum space. I'm just going to start with one side at a time, and what you want to do is make sure you get that ear hooked up, and then the bolts should align where they need to be. Alright. And the new bolts came with a little bit of Loctite, so maybe that's an existing problem, and this might help mitigate some of that. I just want to get these things started. I'm not going to tighten them all until I'm ready. So the last regulator I had there had used bolts. These ones have studs, so it provided nuts. So that worked out. So I'll have some extra pieces, but it's by design. So now what I'm going to do is plug the motor, the electric motor for the regulator in. So that's in position. And then what I think I need to do is turn the car to the on position and then move the regulator up, and then try and now align the regulator, or whatever it's called, with the bottom of the glass, and then I'll tighten that down. So I'm gonna do that quickly. So I'm just gonna temporarily hook this up to the switch so that I can move it up and down, hopefully. I guess I probably don't need that. Bad news. It's not working. The other windows are going up and down, but this one is not. Alright, well, time to take a break and circle back. Hopefully we can figure out what the heck is going on with this this window. Alright, well, that was genuine panic there, because those are new parts, new switch, and I couldn't understand why that didn't work. A couple things I did do as I started seeing what potentially could be wrong. I saw on the internet this might need to be plugged in, so I plugged in this light, and then I double checked that everything was tight and in the right position, made sure the regulators had plenty of wiggle room. I then plugged in the switch, and I didn't just do the power, I did all of them. Like so. And then what I was doing too was wiggling these two cables, and then I noticed as I was wiggling the blue one, sometimes it would make a motion like it wanted to start or wanted to move. So I took this apart and I just tightened it with a little bit of I just squeezed the metal ends so that it would be a little bit tighter fit, and it is working. So I think I might have some more fine tuning to do. Maybe I don't have the regulators lined up correctly, but all things considered, I think I can call this a win. So if you're having these problems, you might want to switch this piece out, you might want to switch the regulator out, and then once again you might want to just test to make sure all your connections are good. So I didn't see any broken wires or anything that looked suspicious, so that's what really kind of had me panicked, because it should be all new parts, and electrical's kind of, you know, electrical gremlins are impossible to track down sometimes. But hope this helps you with your fix. So thanks for watching, good luck, and see you in the next one.